So the first set of questions are about how camp connects to notions of Jewish peoplehood. And just to sort of give a little bit of background on this, the group sort of looked at ways people define Jewish peoplehood. And there's a bunch of elements that we've sort of seized on, I think, through the School for Jewish Peoplehood Studies at Beit HaTfutzot. And it deals with religion, culture, values, Israel, and Hebrew language, just so you have some idea where these questions are coming from. So can you talk a little bit about how Jewish history is handled at camp? Sort of, if you have programming about it.
So basically, there are two elements are appearing here. One is that the kids are coming from 25 different countries, so which automatically means that they'll bring 25 different cultures with them and 25 different histories. Even if some of the countries share the same history or at least the same roots, in one way or another, the point where they are now, the stage of their community where they are now is almost in most of the cases different. So this is one of the things. The second one is that we have a camp agenda, like a camp theme every summer. Every summer it's different. There are two elements which are always appearing and always stable spots, let's say, in that agenda: Israel and the Holocaust. These are the two elements. And beside that, we always include some elements from the Jewish education, like the Jewish, let's say, law, Torah, some kind of a little bit of religion, and also history. And history in that case, it's the history of the Jewish people. The history of the Jewish people, we try to do some kind of logical structure from year to year, that for those who are like, this is something new what they hear about, they can put together these pieces after some of the summers, so it will become in a full picture. But for those who are here, they come only once. For them it will be an element in their Jewish knowledge which will be more, let's say, with the territory where they will be more familiar with. And
what percentage come more than once, or
I know specifically the Hungarian numbers because we have a very good data on that. More than 75% of the kids coming back for at least one more time, and close to 90% of them, after they came back for the second time, they come back for second, third, or even more times. So in Hungary, the returning number is huge. And also for those who are not coming back, there are two, let's say three categories. To be honest, one are those who didn't feel good, they didn't have a good experience, so they're not coming back. Second are those who are growing out from the camps, so they're already over 18, they cannot come back, they don't have opportunity to come back, and they do not start the training program. And the third one are those who are growing out and they start the program, the CIT program, but that they're not included into the number of the campers. So the number, the real number is even higher. Just to be realistic, it's around 75% of the campers who are coming back. There are countries from like North America, they can come only once. So in that case, the returning number is 0. And with most of the Central Eastern European communities, what we had a recent study now on that. We had like, I think the average was 7 or 8 times.
So you plan the educational program assuming that they'll be there multiple times? I mean, is there a track? So when they come the second year, you're not repeating what they learned the first?
Yes and no. Like, most important is that we are focusing on that specific summer. We're not focusing on 3, 4, 5 years agenda. We're focusing on that summer. We would like to have a quality program, quality education on that specific subject, so they learn it. Now, if they come the next year, they will 100% not hear about the topic from the previous year. We are not analyzing so how many kids will return. We simply want to continue, let's say, like we're not repeating. And if we look back for the past 24 summers, this will be the 25th summer, we don't have any repetition on the subjects, like on the specific topics, but in every subject, in every theme, there were some elements which are somehow connected to each other.
So, but can you just give, like, sort of even more specifically, like, in the course of a day, where is Jewish history? Or, like, do you have an hour where kids are lectured? Is there like, how does it look for the campers?
Sure, basically what we try to do is that if we use the Jewish education part, we try to include it in each and every program, no matter if it's only educational or it's some fun program. So the elements are somehow appearing there. Wherever you go, you can find some facts and figures about Israel, or you can find some interesting data about some of the communities where they come from, about diaspora and things like that. Even if you're in the room where you play, table games. This is one thing. Second is that there are two or three main programs during the day. One is a group activity called Peula, where they specifically for 45 minutes, hour, they focus with their youth counselors on the topic of the subject of the camp. That's most probably the most important element of the education. That's why we have a huge time, like long time of preparation of our staff for them to be ready to pass on this information. We have always some kind of special program during the day, which can be a museum or exhibition or something which strengthened the daily subject. One of the years, I think it was 2007, we rebuilt the museum of Bet HaTfutzot from Tel Aviv. We've been there with some of our staff, and I made pictures basically of all the museum, and we copy pasted most of the exhibition. Of course, in our scale, like in our capacity. But we also had the Jewish life cycle. We had different pictures and traditions, and like it's all built in our synagogue. And in the evening, there is some kind of camp-wide program, which theme of the evening program is always the daily theme of the camp. So it could be like in the years when we did the Exodus from Egypt, where Moses was leading all the camp throughout the camp, like throughout all the camp facility, and they were crossing the Red Sea, and they were hunted by the Egyptians. Like it all simulation was happening like that. There was once we did the prophecy of one of the prophets about some kind of story when they were sitting there and saw some 3D animations and projection, whatever story, but they were part of the story. Also like that. So the evening program is always some kind of an extra which is helping to understand the whole concept.
Is this, and this is all age ranges in the camp participate in this, or is it broken up by older, younger?
No, we are focusing very much on creating this sense of belonging to a big Jewish family. That's why we have kids from 6 to 18, and sometimes even for 5 we accept, and also we accept until 19, 20. It also depends on the educational system of the country. In Hungary, most of our teenagers are finishing it. Sorry, not called teenagers, but they're finishing high school in the age 20, 21. So why they would be excluded from the youth camping? There's a different issue with the legal things, that they're over 18, they have other rights and so on and so on, but that's a different thing. But we try to create the feeling that they belong to a big Jewish family, as it's not possible in most of the communities where they come from. Because there are communities where there's one in Albania. We had this movie recently done in Sarvash. There's one guy talking in the movie. He's the only teenager from Albania, and he's representing Albania. Now we have an issue with him. Let's say that he made Aliyah since then. Like he was so much in love with those things. So yeah, he was not the only. He was the only Jew from Albania. Now he's the Albanian Jew from Israel. So whatever.
But he'll be back anyway.
He'll be back. He'll be back. So that then in most communities there are no sense like that, because if you take example of Poland is coming from 5 different cities. For the first time as Polish community, they meet on the bus on the way to Sarvash, because during the year they're not traveling to each other's city, to each other's events, even if there are 2 or 3 cities with JCCs or even synagogues. So when they come together here, they have really this, especially in the scene in the dining hall with all the 500 people surrounding them, and then they understand that it's a big Jewish world. Like I'm part of something big. I'm part of this peoplehood, and like I'm proud of this. I want to be part of this.
So in terms of the way the day is structured, in other words, if you're imparting Jewish values, culture, religion, Ahavat Yisrael, how much of the day is that, and how much of the day is, say, athletics, or is it
Swimming,
what? Or
yeah, art.
art? Yeah, is it?
I think it would be most probably, I would say, around 40-50%. I would say, no, I wouldn't say half, maybe half, maybe a bit less than half. It's the education itself, but it's a tricky thing, because if I'm only taking, we have an Israel museum in the camp. It's a built program. You go inside and you become part of the Israel society, and for the first, many of them, for the first time, they understand that Israel is not only rocket from one side, rocket from the other side, and it's an Arab-Israeli conflict. But they can meet the army, they can meet the kibbutzim, they can understand Israel from a better perspective. So we consider that as a fun program, because there are a lot of games there, and they watch a movie and so on and so on. But still, it's a very strong educational concept. So it's a tricky thing, like, because also sometimes we do like sport event. It's a Maccabiah event, right, with Israeli flags surrounded, with all the opening as in a Maccabiah. Again, it's a fun program, but still.
Right, there's Jewish cultural aspect.
A lot. And also we have this program called Mifgashim. Mifgashim is that the meeting of two different countries, cultures coming together, spend some, 90 minutes or whatever time, when they learn from each other's about each other's history, community, a little bit of language, songs, cheers, whatever they do there. That's also we consider as a fun program, because two groups are coming together and they enjoy, but it also has a very strong motivation to open up to other societies and other cultures and understand better the Jewish world.
Do you mix them up in the bunks, or are there Hungarian bunks and Polish bunks?
In the bunks, they are by countries and also by age groups. So inside the Poland, it can be from 6 to 10. They're in the same room. We are not mixing them. We are also not putting counselors inside the cabins, because culturally, most, like 99% of the communities, they're working like that. They have kids separated from Madrechim. And also, as I mentioned with the example of Poland, we also have to create. It's a must. We have to create for all these countries the opportunity to build their own community inside the camp. So it's like a camp inside the camp. So they also need their own private time, not only in the international environment. And I think the most intimate, let's say, in this case, is the room and the rooming. We could mix them, it's not a problem. There you have some rooms which are mixed rooms. We call them the international group. International group is a mixture of all the countries who are participating in a specific session. They come together, they stay together in their international environment. They speak English all the time in their activities. So there is an option for that. It's a possibility, but we also have to be very careful that we're also responsible for building specifically each and every community.
How about religious observance?
It's also an interesting thing. Like most of the, I'm answering all the questions like in a Jewish way, like we're going from a distance. First of all, that the background you have to know is that most of the kids are coming from the communities where very old-fashioned rabbis have this message to them that either you're religious, and in this case it means Orthodox, or you're not Jewish. These are the two options you have. So they face a lot of time this kind of very old-fashioned, let's say in a way, I don't want to hurt anyone, but it's like boring and not attractive services, and all these things. So when they come to the camp and they meet, let's say, the North American kids, and they first time ever hear about liberal or modern Orthodox or all the streams, they're saying, "Oh my God, if I would have something like this at home, I would do that." They say, we play guitar on Shabbat. They say, "What do you mean you play guitar on Shabbat? It's not allowed." Said who? Said my rabbi.
You find that
right?
here too.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem with it is that we show them these ways. They enjoy it. They love it. They would like to participate in this and practice this. But when they go home, they go back to their sad reality. When again they meet exactly the same rabbi.
So do they do like tefillah in the morning?
Yeah, we have a prayer 3 times a day in our synagogue. We have a Torah scroll. Publicly we keep Shabbat in all the camp for everyone. We on Shabbat we are not doing any programs which will break the atmosphere of Shabbat. So we show them that how easy is it to keep Shabbat. We're not pushing anyone to practice it. We are not. It's not a must. You don't have to go to the synagogue. But what we see is that every time on Shabbat there are more and more kids appearing on the prayers because they want to see how it looks like, how it can be fun. So in one way or another we try to be pluralistic. We accept all the streams, but to be real, most of the participants are coming from exactly the same stream, which is an Orthodox stream and Orthodox, let's say, a way of thinking or a way of understanding the prayers. Usually during the camp we have 2 or 3 rabbis. One is always an Orthodox rabbi. He was the one who put together our prayer book in the camp. Now we have it in 2 languages, actually already 3. It's English, Hungarian and Russian. And he was once a camper. He was not religious at all, and now he's an Orthodox rabbi in Germany. He was the first Orthodox rabbi who received smicha in Germany after the war, and he was our camper. Very proud of him. And so he's always there, and he's also responsible for kashrut and all the he gives the supervision of the kitchen. We have Rabbi Seth Brownstein, who is the organizer of the American group from the States. Yeah, but he's more modern Orthodox. Like he's much different from the other guy. Like they have completely different view on this. And we have always someone from Hungary who is like more Hungarian neolog type of thing, which it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. It's closer already to, let's say, more liberal, more conservative. I don't know what would be the best definition for that. So we have always rabbis. Like we have a lot of rabbis.
Is there? Do you have a problem with? In other words, if the rabbis know what these kids are going to be exposed to at the camp, have some of them tried to discourage the kids from going to the camp?
No.
Even though they know that they're going to be introduced to other streams that they may not have been aware of.
Yeah, in one way or another, I think that I know it from from Hungarian rabbis. They accept camp very much. They love the camp very much. Most of them were campers once in the camp, so they know what's happening there. They're not against it. They're not, let's say, in a way, brave enough to go against the camp because they might lose also those who are coming to their synagogue and they love them, let's say, for being open. But also from other side, we. No, I think that the relationship is good, even if.
When you say it's in these 3 languages, do you mean also Hebrew in those? I mean, it's translated, or are people praying in English?
It's Hebrew.
Yeah.
Translation and transliteration.
Okay.
There are 3 in all 3 languages.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then what about Hebrew language? Do you do anything with that at camp?
With the first of all, we have Israeli groups. That's already having Hebrew inside the camp. All the programs have a Hebrew name, and kids learn Hebrew also through this. When they go home, we had some complaints some years ago from parents that they don't understand what their kids are telling them when they go home and they tell about the program. So they say, like, we woke up in the morning, we had mifkad, then we went to Peula, and then we did this and this, and said, like, they understood every second word from the language. So they learn a lot of words. Also that, also from that, for the smallest kids, we do Hebrew education. Israeli staff are doing like Aleph Bet and songs and understanding the songs and meanings to start to have this taste of Hebrew. The name of the place is also in Hebrew. Also, with the Israeli corner is helping with that. So it's present. It's present, and I think it's important. Also, for us, it's important to have Israeli staff on specific programs like dancing and also singing, Rikudeam, horror dancing. We bring dancer from Israel. It's also important to represent. It's not the Hebrew language, but it's more like representing Israeli culture, Israel society through something. It's like we could also bring someone from Bulgaria doing dancing because they might do the same thing, but it's not the same. It's not the same experience.
Right, it sends a message that
Exactly.
you're bringing someone from Israel.
Do we need to move?
It looks like they're getting ready, so why don't we as a presentation, and they need to use the audiovisual. So,
See them gathering, yes.